you're all having a good one. Going to get into this slate. I'm going to share my screen. We're going to go through MLB. We're going to talk some NBA. We're going to talk, obviously, we're not going to talk any golf, actually, because it's not a cut sweat like most Fridays have been. So thanks for joining us. Before we get going, a reminder to check out everything we've got going over at TrueDFS. Like I said, you guys know we're partnered with SaberSim. We have everything SaberSim, all of their projections. We have Sheets projections, which have been awesome. We have Goldie's projections, all of my content, all of Rody's content, all of Brandon Cruz for NASCAR, Chan for LOL, etc. Join us and give us a like, a thumbs up. So we appreciate the support. We want to keep doing these videos for free, etc., etc. I have to say that stuff because I'm supposed to, but not usually the thing that I love to do the most. But anyway, we're going to get into it. I'm going to talk about this slate. All right. So you can see I've left a lot of my cores up here. I might make some changes and then update them in the Discord. I will update in the Discord for all of our subscribers, my exposures, my ownership, all that stuff, etc. Good to see you, Scott. Happy to see you in here. Always happy to have you around. Say what's up when you get in the chat. Give us, any questions, any thoughts about baseball, we'll get into it. I'll just talk about what I'm doing right now. I'm going to look at my exposure so I'm not lying to you guys about what I'm currently doing. One thing I know I'm going to do is I'm all over this Atlanta game. I'm going to have some Texas, maybe not full stacks, but I'm going to have pieces of Texas, pieces of Atlanta. It's by far the best hitting environment on the slate. I know Atlanta's going to have some ownership. I'm okay with it. It's become my favorite stack. I still love the Dodgers as a super contrarian stack. I will have a lot of that as well. But I did want to just say I'm going to also take a few shots on Andrew Heaney, and I am very uncomfortable with almost all the pitching names that I click outside of Joe Ryan and Jack Flaherty. Even I feel a little uncomfortable with, but it's obviously with the stacks that I like, I'm going to want to spend down. So it's a little bit tricky, and that's what I've I've figured out sort of navigating this slate. Like you have these cheap second base options that you can use, like Kike Hernandez for the Dodgers, and you've got the Fletcher to fill out an Atlanta stack. So that's just sort of like basic stuff that I've been looking at a lot of. Right now, I need to get some more exposure to other stacks because I have the Dodgers. I have it right now, Atlanta, LA, some combination of I'm interested a little bit in both sides of KC and Baltimore, but maybe not the ownership. Toronto, San Diego, slightly interested in both sides. And then Cleveland, I can definitely sell myself on a full Cleveland stack. Anyway, so that's sort of the stacks I'm looking at. In terms of pitching right now, I'm going to, let me just see real quick. My exposure is on every pitcher. Okay, so it's weird how they have it organized and then they also have relief pitchers. Like Andrew Heaney's considered a relief pitcher. I have 10% Heaney right now. I'm going to probably end up with like 20, but I'm probably going to have like 50% Brave stacks when I'm not using them. Maybe not quite that many, but pretty close. All right, Joe Ryan, I have the most right now. I have Flaherty second most. I'm going to take a shot with some of the Rodriguez. I don't even know how much they'll let him pitch, but at 5K on a slate where I don't, look, obviously these top guys could go off, but it's not like a crazy strong pitching slate where you're worried about the 30 pluses as much. At least I'm not. I mean, sure, every one of these top guys can get there, but I just think that it's just less likely than more likely. I really like the Yamamoto, especially on FanDuel, where he's the fourth most expensive pitcher instead of the most expensive. Anyway, but yeah, I have it Ryan, Flaherty, and then I've got the Rodriguez. I've got him too much right now. I'm probably going to end up with like 20 to 25% of him, maybe a little bit more. And Yamamoto, I'm going to have probably about 25%. Freddie Peralta, probably going to have about 15%. I have like little bits of weird nonsense that I'm throwing in at like 10% or 8%, I should say, of McKenzie, 10% of Clark Schmidt. I might go a little higher on Schmidt. I think he's going to be more popular than he's projecting. And then Dean Kremer is the other one that I'm going to be overweight on. So that's sort of my pitching as I see it. Again, I feel weird on a day like this, but that's why I feel like trying to spend down makes a lot of sense, especially considering the stacks that I mentioned that I'm using. Cleveland is the cheap one you can use and double spend up. And you have these value plays, which we'll talk through when we go position by position here. All right, I'm going to see my ownership here. So I've got d'Arnaud because I'm playing the stack. I don't like the d'Arnaud play, actually. It doesn't look good at the plate to me. I might have to make a change there. But d'Arnaud is a way to fill out that stack for the for the Braves. I have Will Smith, not just with Dodger stacks. I think he's a really good play. Bo Naylor, Danny Jansen, and Gary Sanchez are my highest owned. Gary Sanchez with a nice little BVP for what it's worth, and maybe get Gary Sanchez in a few lineups. He's the value guy. I'm definitely using the most of the value. I am playing a good amount of Ezekiel Duran at first base. Let me just see exactly how much my, I don't need to give my exact exposure, but I'll give a close one. Yeah, I have him actually up close to 25% right now, but I have him at third also. It's a value place, and it's a way I can save to spend up for my big bats. Other than that, Shohei, I am the most overweight. Freddie Freeman, Matt Olson, Vlad Guerrero, and Ryan O'Hearn in that order. Second base. Kike Hernandez is my highest owned along with Mookie, but it's interchangeable with bets at shortstop. I'm not using Kike in the outfield much because I don't like second base in general. You do have this Wenzel Perez batting second, which I think is another one you can add to the mix where you're not playing Joe Ryan if you wanted to get a little different. But Fletcher and Kike, because they fit my stacks, are in most of mine. Biggio as a one-off and a part of a mini Blue Jay stack would be another one for me. Third base. I have, again, Ezekiel Duran. I have Max Muncy, Austin Riley. Guess why? Toro, Jose Ramirez. That sort of goes along with some of the stacks. Toro is just another value piece that I'm using a little bit of. Shortstop, obviously, I'm going to have Mookie the most, and Arcia is my second highest owned. I do have some of this other stuff I have like Rocio and Cleveland stacks. I'm probably going to spread out a little bit and maybe use that Perez kid a little bit more just because of the value at batting second. I think it's worth it. All right, outfield. I have Kike. Oh, but again, I'm not using him in the outfield, so I don't know why. I don't know. I wish they would show what percentage you're using or something on DK. A little note for DK. Otani, Pages, Ozuna, Acuna. You know the names. The spend ups and the parts of stacks I like. Duvall. Michael Harris he's going to be a lower owned part of Atlanta. Tyler Freeman, batting sixth at 2,600. Then the Oakland guys are in play. Nevin, Seth Brown. Those guys I have a little bit of. Stephen Kwan, Ryan O'Hearn again. I'm just a little bit lower than the field on most of the chalk tonight outside of, I like Atlanta. You see the ownership going to Toronto, heavily towards Toronto, Baltimore with some Atlanta. I'm just going to be overweight the Atlanta Dodgers and go from there pretty much. All right. Thoughts on attacking McKenzie with Oakland exposure. I don't think this is I don't know what's wrong with McKenzie, but there is a version. If you would have told me fourth game of the season this year, Tristan McKenzie was starting against the A's, I would say that he'd be the most popular pitcher on the slate. And he would be the most expensive and with the highest projection. I would bet you all of those things. Now, the A's have done their part. McKenzie has not done his part. So I'm sort of iffy on that one. The A's, I'll tell you one thing. The A's are going to be, the A's are probably the third highest owned stack today, maybe the fourth. So you're not getting different with A's at all. There's nothing contrarian about the A's. I actually think they might be higher owned because of the pricing. I mean, they've got these guys in here, but people are going to play some of that Nevin stuff, just because of where they're hitting. I just know it, especially at the higher buy-in. So Lawrence Butler at 2,100 is going to be a value piece. He's going to be higher than 7%, I think. I just think there's a lot of Oakland you're going to see. So it's definitely not a contrarian take, and you're going to have a lot of shared lineups. Everybody's going to use them as fillers to complement their lineups or as full-on. And I get it. I'm okay with it. Toro's 2,900, I'm playing it. You know what I mean? Pieces of it. I'm just not going for the full stack route. What I do want to do is get Texas more. I like the idea of attacking. Look, Texas is awesome. It's a great hitting condition situation. Chris Sale is not the unhittable Chris Sale, although he's been good this year to start. He's definitely can still give up the long ball. And I have a feeling that Texas, I just think they're a tough team. They're a better team than most people. I mean, not that most people think they won the World Series, but they're just a better offense than, that I would really want to attack with Sale. And I certainly like the idea of getting a little contrarian and playing Texas bats. We mentioned Duran, all that stuff. All right. So that's my rundown of what I'm doing baseball wise. What are your questions? What are your thoughts on baseball? Do you want to do a lineup build before we jump into basketball? Because we're going to be going for it for basketball. I can't promise the weekends. I can promise the regular weekdays, I will be doing my NBA stuff, shared with baseball. I love the NBA playoff DFS. I've done really well historically, and I'm going to keep riding that wave this year. So let me know what you guys are doing. If you have any thoughts on baseball, anything, please click the like button, et cetera, et cetera. It's pretty much all I can run down. Ask me if I have any thoughts about anybody I didn't mention. I am basically, I'm looking at the ownership. Like I'm below on, I don't have any Snell right now. Look, that could kill me. I'm okay with it. I don't care. It's a tough, Arizona is a good offense. I'd rather not play the expensive pitchers against the good offenses. I'll take shots on the cheapos against a good offense, like a weird play, like the ridiculous Andrew Heaney play, that zero ownership. I don't think it's like the wrong idea to just, what if he strikes out the side in the first inning? And even if he only pitches like 3 or 4, we've seen this guy have like 11 strikeouts in 4 innings multiple times. We've seen it. So I'm trying to spend down there. Anyway, guys, I'll jump into to NBA in just a minute. All right, let's get over there. So it seems like we're going to talk a little NBA here. All right, so I can show you what I did earlier, just with some of my. Oh, did it revert? Oh, it did. That's unfortunate. Well, oh no, I'll go to the build. Sorry, there we go. So if you see this is what I ended up with when I did my runs. Now I did change and lower some min and max exposures, but here's my exposures based on what I got from, I built like 20 lineups. I'm good. And then I double enter them, and then I'm going to whittle down those 20 for what I like. But you can see I'm a little bit more spread out. So that's sort of, on purpose. And it's because I want to take some weird shots. I forced in a ton of, if he plays, Andre Drummond. 2 fouls for Zubac. This is a different situation where Drummond might have to play more minutes against Bam, and it might work. Like they might be down big. Like there's a lot of ways it could work out. So I'm going to take some weird shots like that. Dyson Daniels, I'm going to take some shots on. Those are my super low ownership guys. Davion Mitchell, it's a pure gamble, but I'll go that way. I'll go Hayward Highsmith. I don't even think that's a reach. You need him to do the other things. But that's sort of my ownership. So that's what I'm doing. We can reset and run your things because I've already put my lineups in. But you can see some of the builds I got. And again, I'm going to be editing these because some of them leave like 6,000 on the table. I'm not opposed to leaving money on the table, but I'm not going to play like Jovic over Bam, where there's 6K left on the table. I'm just not doing anything that stupid. So this is what I've got, guys. What questions do you have? What thoughts do you have? Anything you want to see that I'm not showing you or telling you? I'm going to probably get out of here a little bit early tonight. I've got a little bit of a little potentially under the weather. But anyway, go ahead. Let us know what you think, what you guys want to talk about. I'm happy to talk through anything. So let me know. All right, drying up so early. Sheets is gone, and we're having less of a show. I understand on Fridays it's always like this. It's always a little quieter. But tonight we've got it way quieter. So I think I'm going to get out of here then if there's nothing else to do. I've still got lineups to edit down. I'm going to tell all of our members in Discord. I'll be around in Discord if you guys have any questions or specific thoughts. Good luck to everyone tonight. I hope you guys crush it. For TrueDFS, I'm Bobby Fi saying, let's get it.